In this video, we are going to create an app for the budget, and one interesting thing that we are going to see is how you can pass data between components using service. Let's start. Here is the app that we are going to create. If you put next, here we have some validations, and I will put that we have a budget of 1,000. Here we are using the routing, and here we have another component, and here we have another component, and the idea is pass data from this component to this another component. Here, if you click add expense, we have incorrect expense or amount, and here we have the budget and the rest. For example, if I here put food and I put that I expend 200, here we have one row and the rest is 800. If you try to put an expense, for example, here I will put fuel, and I will put an amount that it is higher than the rest. You can check that we have another validation, the amount is higher than the rest. And another feature that we are going to do is the color of this card is going to change depending how much money you have left. For example, if I put fuel here, for example, 400, we have this color. And in this case, when the rest is less than 250, the color is going to change also. For example, if I put here health insurance and here I put 200, the color is going to change. Okay, this is the app that we are going to build. See you in the... Okay, let's start with the creation of our project. The only requirements that you need to have installed in your computer is, if you want to create the project from scratch, is Node.js and also the Angular CLI. Okay, I will create a new carpet here in my desktop. I will call it Angular, and then I will create the project in this carpet. I will copy this path, I will move to this path, and here we have, okay. If you want to create a new project with Angular, you can put the command ng, and then you can also put the keyword help, and here you can see all of the command that you can use with the command ng. In this moment, we need to use ng new, this one, where this command help us to create the project from scratch. Okay. And another interesting thing it is that we are using in this moment Angular 17. If you come from the future, maybe you have a higher version, but it doesn't care. But the point is that I don't want to use standalone components. I'm going to use a flag in order to use modules. I will put ng new, and then the name of the project. In this case, is going to be expenses, and then I will put the flag standalone false, because I don't want to work with the standalone components. Then here, which is style sheet format would you like to use? In this case, I like to use SAS, but it doesn't matter. And then, do you want to enable server-side rendering? I will put not, but it doesn't matter. And now we need to wait a few minutes in order to download all of the package that we need to run our application. Let's wait. Okay, and once that the install was finished, I want to open the project. In this case, I will open with the Visual Studio Code, but you can use the editor that you want. I will move here, I will put dir, and I will move to the carpet that it was generating now, that it is this one, expenses, cd expenses, and with the command code dot, if you are using Visual Studio Code, you can open here Visual Studio, positioning in the carpet that you are. Okay, Now I will close this terminal and I will open an integrated terminal. You can go here to terminal and here new terminal. And I will put again the command ng and I will put ng help in order to see all of the commands. I will do this a little bigger. And here, as you can see, before we just use the command ng new, that it is ng new, and now the command that we are going to use is ng serve. That this command builds and serves your applications and rebuilding or files. This command it is only used when we are developing our app. Okay, okay. I will put here ng serve, and I will add also the flag that touch o because I want to open automatically Firefox or Google Chrome automatically. If not, you need to put the URL manually. Here, this question, would you like to share this question only appears one time. You can put yes or no, it doesn't matter. In my case, I will put yes. And now we need to wait. This first compilations, it's a little take a little, but then it is faster. And here we are using HTTP local host and the port for 4200. And this is our app, okay? Where this code is, as you can see here, we have only here and only one file index HTML. That the only weird things that we have is this component app per root, and this is the component that we have the scaffold create for us. And here this code is here in this file. If, for example, you can delete this one and put expenses app, and you can save the project with Control S, and automatically you can see the changes here. If I put another P, you can and save the change, you can see here. Okay, I will stop the project with the keywords Control C. And the next step that we want to do is create the structure of our app. Okay, I will create 3 folders here within the carpet, the folder app. The first one, it is going to be components. That here in component, we are going to create only 4 components. Then I will create another folder that the name is service. We are going to create only one service. Remember that the service in Angular we use only for 3 reasons: to share code between components, to make call HTTP calls to, for example, to the backend, and also to pass data between components. That in this case we are going to see how you can pass data between components through observables. And the last folder that we need is interface, because I don't want to use the type any. We're going to create only one interface, and it is going to be within this folder. Okay, let's see a little. Here we have, in this moment, the status of our app is this app component. We have only one component that it is this. The first component that we are going to create is enter budget component. That in our case, this component, it is this one, where you need to enter your budget. And how you can create a component. Also, you can put ng, and also then you can put again the keyword help in order to see all of the things that we can do with the command ng. In this case, bueno, we just we use before the command ng new, we use before the command ng serve, and in this moment we are going to use the command ng generate. But with the command ng generate, you can do a lot of things. You can put again ng generate, And also you can put help in order to see all of the things that you can use with the command ngGenerate. In our case, we are going to use this one. We are going to generate automatically a new component, and also we are going to create an interface that it is super easy, and also we are going to create a service. Okay, let's start with the components. Now we are here, but I want to create the component within the folder components. How you can do that? I will put ng generate component, but I want the component to be here. Also, you can put ngg and see the component. It's exactly the same, and then we need to put the path of the in which place do we want to create the component. In our case, I want to create the components within the folder component dash, and the first component, it is this one, budget. I will call it enter budget. I will press enter, and here, as you can see, automatically we have a HTML file, we have a file for the styles, a file for tests, that in this video we are not going to see any tests, and a file for our code. Okay, this is we just have this component created, empty, of course. Then the next component that I want to create is this one, expenses component. That this component is going to have two childs: add expense component and list expenses component. I mean, here we can enter the budget. For example, I will put 2000, and here we have one component that it is the father, and then we have one child in the left and another component in the right. As you can see here, we have a component that it is the root, then we have expenses component, and then we have two childs. Okay, let's back to our app, and now I want to create another component, but here the component should be enter budget expenses component. I will put expenses. I don't know the name if I like, but it's okay. Expenses component, enter budget, but it's okay. Expenses, and within expenses we need to create add expense component and list expense component. Okay, expenses, I will put dash because I want to create the component here within this folder. Add expenses in singular, add expense. Okay, let's wait. Here we have add expense, and also the last component that we need is list expenses. List expenses. Okay, we just create our 4 components. We have within the folder, we had 5 components. The root component, that it is app component. Then we have enter budget, that it is this component, this one. As you can see also, we are going to apply routing between components. And here we have the enter budget, then we have expenses, that it is this component, and within expenses we have this component in the left, enter your expense, and on the right we have list expenses. Okay. Then we need to create the service. I will put ng generate, and then I will put the word s, or also you can put service, and I want to create the service within the folder services, and the name the service, it will be expense. Okay, or budget. Maybe budget. If you, for example, if you create some component service and you don't like it, you can simply delete, and it is okay. And I will put budget. Okay, we have the budget here. And the last thing that we need to do, talking about our architecture, it is the interface. I will put ng generate interface, and then I want to create the interface within this folder. Or maybe also you can create manually. Here you can go to interface, you can put here new file, and you can put here expenses .ts or as expense in singular, and then this interface I want to export to another service. You need to use the keyword export. The type it is interface. You need to put interface, and then the name I will put expense. Then I need to put this one, and here we need to put the properties. This interface is going to have only two properties, that it is this one, the name of the the expense and the amount. This is the only interface that we are going to have. I will put the name, that it is going to be the type string, and also the amount. In this case, the amount, it is going to be the type number. I will put this one. Okay. The next thing that we are going to do is work in the component. This one, the first component, enter your budget. But first, we are going to configure in our project Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a powerful CSS framework that we can do very easy responsive page. For that, I will go to the official site of Bootstrap. This is the way that I recommend to install Bootstrap through the npm manager, but also you can reference with this link and put this link in the HTML file index, and it is going to work. Okay, I will copy this one. I will back to our project, and I will copy. I will install through npm install this version of Bootstrap. It doesn't matter if you are using another version higher. Maybe you have some breaking change, but it's going to work. Okay, as you can see here in the package.json, in the dependencies you have Bootstrap, this version. But if we execute the project, there is something that it is missing, that we need to reference our project to Bootstrap. Here it is not working, Bootstrap. I mean, we had Bootstrap here in the node modules here. If you can go to Bootstrap, and you will see that here it is installed, but then we need to reference it. There is a few ways. One way is here in the angular.json. You can go to the and reference the file. I don't remember well what is here. In the styles, you can reference the file that you want. And also another way, it's here you can add to the styles global styles file this import, and it's exactly the same. I will copy this one. I will go back to CRC to the styles. This is the global styles, and I will copy that. I will save the changes. I will go back to our project, and now you can see that the styles of these words was changed. If you are not sure, you can go to Bootstrap, you can go to the docs, and you can copy whatever class you want and see if Bootstrap is working. For example, I can go to the component, to the buttons. I can copy these elements that we are applying these classes here. I will go back to our project. I will go to the main component, app component HTML. I will copy that. I will save, and then as you can see, we are applying the changes. Okay. Okay. Now we are going to start to working in the component in enter budget component, this one. But now we are seeing app component. I mean, I will go back here. Now we are in this component, but I want to render the component, enter budget component inside of a component. How you can do that? Very easy. You can go, first you need to go to the component that you want to render, enter budget. You can go to here to to the TS file, and you need to put, remember this name, this selector. Obviously you can change the name, this name, but this name you need to render in the app component HTML. I will delete this one and I will put app, enter budget. I will press enter, and if you are putting well the name without errors, you can see here enter your budget work. You can open the DevTools. You can see here that we have a one HTML page because you are using ACPA is single page application, and within the body you can see that we have the app root, and within the app root we have app enter your budget. Okay. The next thing that we want to configure in our project is a gradient. If you want, it is not mandatory, but I will put here, I will go to this site view gradient, and we can choose whatever you want. You can go to here to show all gradients. You can filter at the top through different colors. I will choose this green, and here I will choose this one most. Okay, how we can apply this gradient to our project? Very easy. You need to click here in Get CSS. You need to copy this code, and then in which part we need to put this code. Okay, in our case, in my case, I want to, if you see the HTML index HTML, I want all of the elements that are child of body. I want to apply this gradient. So I will open here style, the global style file, and I will see, okay, the body is going to have this gradient. I will format the document, I will save the changes, and now you can see that we are applying the gradients. Okay, I can close this one. Now I will go back to our project, and I will go to the enter budget component. Okay, the first thing that I want to do here is I will create a row that it is simple. This is Bootstrap. I will, within this row, I will create a column. I can put call LG6, and here I need to put a detail. Enter your budget. I will save the changes, and here we have enter your budget. But I want to put here this one in the center, and also I want to have a margin top here. I can put here, okay, enter your budget. I can put here a class that this class is going, no, here in the row I can put margin top 5 maybe. I will save the changes, and I have a margin top of 5 pixels. And also I will add another class of Bootstrap offset LG3 in order to have here 3 columns on the left of the page. 3, 6, I don't know, 3, 6 is too much. 4. With 4 I think it is okay. Okay, the next step that I want to do, I want to change this style, but because we're going to use a font in this page of Google. You can put in Google fonts. I will click here, and here you have super beautiful different fonts that you can choose. I will put here Montserrat. I will click here, and here you have different within Montserrat we have different parameters that you can choose. This one I like, semibold 600. I will put here get font, and then and then you need to click here get embed code, and I will put here this one that I like, semibold 600. Okay, here you need to do two steps. First, we need to copy this one and copy in the HTML file. I will copy this. I will go back to our project. I will go to app component HTML. No, sorry, to index HTML, and I will copy this one. I will put saves. I will format the document, and then the next step is apply the font family. In this case, we want to apply to this class, Montserrat, and if Montserrat is not working, we are going to apply this another font family and also this one. Okay, I will copy this one, and or I can copy this one. I will go to the styles global, and I will copy here this one. I'm going to delete. Okay, and now we have a Montserrat class that if you apply to some text in our code, we are going to see this beautiful style. I will copy this one, and I will go to enter budget component, and here in enter your budget, I will apply Montserrat. Let's see if it is working, and it is working. Okay, the next step, in this page, we are going to have only three elements: a title, an input where you can put your budget, and a button in order to do the routing and go to the next component. That, I mean, when the user clicks in the button next, we are going to destroy this component, and we are going to render this component with these two child components. Okay, here I will create a card that it is a class of Bootstrap, and within the card I will put another class that it is a card body. I can put here hello to see how it's going, and here we have hello, but here I don't like. Maybe here we need to put offset LG3 in order to be more in the left, and this one I will put another class. I want to center this class, and I can use another class of Bootstrap that it is text center, and now it is nice. Okay, now we need to put an input. We can go to Google if you to Bootstrap and see, for example, form control, and the class that we need to use is this one. I mean, I will copy this one. I will paste here. The type is going to be text. No, the text is going to be number. Here I will put enter your budget. Now I will put text. Then I will change text. And the ID, I will delete the ID. Okay? I will save the changes. I will go back, and here we have enter your budget. Okay, and then we need to put a button. You can go to the buttons, and the button that I want to put is this one with this color, but you can put the color that you want. I will copy this one, and I will put here. Okay, but there are two things that I want to do. First, I want to do this input bigger. This button I want to do also bigger, and I want this button to be from here to here, and margin top. Okay, first I will put a next, the name of the button. I will put here the class margin top 2, and if you go to the documentation, you can see, okay, if you scroll a little down, here we have an example that if you add the class button dash LG, the button is going to be bigger. As you can see, if we save the file you have here next. And the last thing that we need is to use block buttons. We need to use this class, and inside of this class we need to put the button, and the button is going to be this type. Okay, I will put here, I will create a new div with a class with this class. Sorry, I will create a new div with this class, and the button is going to be inside of this class. And here, as you can see, we have the button next. And if you want to do bigger this input, you need to use also the class form control LG. And we just finished the HTML page of this component. Okay, now we are going to configure the routing, and we are going to start working also in the other component. The idea is when the user clicks here in this button, we need to destroy this component and we need to render the other component that it is expenses component here. Okay, how we can do that? Here, when we create the project within the app folder, here we have app routing module. This is the file that we need to use. That it is a constant with the type root, and also it is an array. I will add a new object here, and in this object we have some properties that we can use. I will put path, and I will say, okay, when the path here in the URL is going to be enter budget, for example, this one, I want to render this component that we have here. So I will put here enter budget, and then I will add another component that you need to say, okay, when you put this path, I want to render the component enter budget component, as you can see here. But in this moment, in the root component, in the app component, we are rendering this component enter budget. I mean here. So here also we need to put a new directive that it is directive router outlet, and I will save the changes, and I will back to our project. And if you refresh the page, sorry, I need to execute or develop server. And here, as you can see, nothing is happening. But if you put here dash enter budget, as you can see, we are rendering this component. And also, I want, if you put expensive, this I want to render the other component that we are going to work. So you can add a new path here and say, okay, when the path is expenses, I want to render the component expenses component. Easy. I will save the file. I will put here expensive, and this is it's working. But what happens if the user enters to the URL and put anything? If we open the console, nothing is happening. We don't have any error. But we can say, okay, if you enter to the root of our URL, I want to do that. Maybe we can do this. Okay, I will say, okay, if the path is empty, here I am going to use another property, redirect to, and I want to redirect to enter budget component. I mean, redirect to enter budget, and we are going to go here and we are going to render enter budget component, and here we can add another flag that it's not necessary in this case that it is path match, and I will put full. Here you can pass the mouse and see the difference, but in this case it doesn't matter. Okay, as you can see here, if we enter to the principal URL without any child, we are rendering to enter budget page. And what happens if the user put a page that doesn't match with anything? We have an error and our brush crash. I don't want to have this behavior. We can also add another object here and we can say, okay, if the path doesn't match with anything, we can use this wildcard. I want to be redirected to the first page, enter budget, and the strategy is going to be this one, path match. So in this case, if you put a page that doesn't match with anything, you can go to the first page, or maybe you can go to create a new page and say and put, okay, this page is it wasn't found, or whatever you want. Okay, we have configured the router. Now we are going to learn how you can, when the user clicks here in this button next, I want to go to the next component that it is expenses component. But when the user clicks in the button next, I will go to the component enter budget, and here there are different ways to, in this case, to go from one component to applicate the router. In this case, I will do that in the HTML files. Also, in the HTML files, you have different ways to do that. One of the things that you can use the directive router link, and then as a string you can put which is the route, and here I will put expenses. And one important thing here, you need to put the dash, because if you don't put the dash, the system of Angular is going to try to put enter budget and also then expenses, and this route doesn't exist. You need to put, if you put this symbol, the thing is Angular is going to try to find this one. You can try. If you don't put this dash, you can see that this doesn't work. But if you put the dash, we are going to this work, because here we are searching from the root of the routing. Okay, here this is working. Now we are going to work a little in the component expenses here. Now we are here, and I will create a container. Container is a class of Bootstrap. Then I will put a title that it is going to say expenses. I will save the changes to see how it is. Okay, we had here this. I want to this title should be in the middle, and also I want to apply the margin top of 2, and the class and expenses is going to have two classes. Text center, that it is a class of Bootstrap, and also I want to apply this class Montserrat that we configured in before. Let's see, we have expensive, but this one maybe it is 5. And now I will create a card with the class card body, and here I want to have 2 columns. Div call lg6 ICD, and I will copy this one to see if everything is working properly. Before the columns, I need to create a row, and within the row I need to put these 2 classes. Okay, this is the structure of this component, and here I want to put I want to render. We are here, sorry. We are here. I want to render within the expenses component, this component, and this another component. Okay, here I will put up app add expenses, add expenses, and here add list expenses in plural. No, here. Okay, if you here I have some problems. Expenses, list expenses. Here the problem is here in add expensive. What is the problem? Let me check the name. I will copy this one. I will here. I will save the change. Here, what is the problem? Up. I will remove this one. I will save the change. Here, this component is not known. What is the problem? Let me check the app module. We have the two components. Let me see. I will save the change. I will put again app add expense. Bueno, here it is working. Okay, we have the first component, it's working well, and the another component, app list expenses in plural. And now we have the other component. Okay, this is working. Okay, let's continue it now working in the HTML component of this component, add expenses and list expenses. Here we need to put a title. I will go to our components and I will go to the component is add expenses HTML, and here I will put h4 that it is going to say as a title, enter your expense. Okay, let me check something. Okay, enter your expenses, and I want to put this one in the center. I will apply the class test center, and also I will put BR element. It is a line, but it is not working. What is the BR? No, it is HR. Here, okay, nice. Here in the left part of this component, we need to put only two inputs. The user needs to put the expense, and also he needs to put the amount, and also we need to add a button. If you go to the Bootstrap documentation, here in the form control, in the forms, you can see the documentation of this, and in this case, we only want to put two inputs. I will copy this one to go a little fast, and I will paste here. Okay, here we need to do some modification. First, this is the label. Here I will put expense. The ID, this ID, it is the purpose of this ID. I will let the purpose of the fourth and the ID is the users click in here in the labels. As you can see, we are doing focus here. It's good to have, but the name, I will change the name. I will put here name, and in the ID I will put name. As an input, I will put food, and the type of the input, it will be text. Okay, let's come back to here, and it's working properly. Okay, we have the first one. Also, I want to put the forms a little bigger, and also the label, I will apply it to the label of this component, label. I want to be a little bigger. I will put 2.1 to 1.2 rem. in order to, as you can see here, it is a little bigger, and also I will apply another class that it is font weight 600 in order to do a little black. Bueno, here we have the first input. I will copy this one. I will copy, and here we need to put the amount. I will do the same amount as a for. In the ID the same, and in the placeholder the type is going to be number. So the user only can put numbers. If you try to put characters, you cannot put. Here you can put enter your budget. Okay, the last thing in this component that we are missing, it is the button. And we can go to the other component that we've been working before, that it is this one, and we can copy to go faster. I will go here, and we need to copy this. I will back to this other component, and I will copy that. I will remove the router link, and here I will put add expense. Let me check if everything is working properly, and here we have the HTML of this component. Now we need to work in the other component here in the right. Let's go back, and I will copy these two lines because also we need to put a title like here. I will copy that. I will go to the other component, list expensive, the HTML file. And in the title, I will put here list of expenses. Okay, here we have list of expenses. And now I will create a row. And within this row, I will create two divs with the size 6. Sorry. Div call. Here I will we need to put the budget strong, and I will create another call with the rest. Let me check if okay, it is good. I want to apply some classes of Bootstrap. I want to go back. I will back to Bootstrap, and here in the components you have a tab that it is alerts. In my case, I want to use this one. For now, I will use this one, that it is the class is success and secondary. I will copy, I can do that. I am going to copy this one. I will put here, and here I will copy that, and I will put here inside. And I will do the same with the rest. Here, rest. Okay, let me check if everything is working good. Okay. Here we have the budget, but here instead of success, I will put secondary. Okay. I want to do this alert a little bigger. You can put in the CSS file. I will say, okay, all of the classes that says alert is going to have a font size of 1.2 rem, and as you can see, this is a little bigger. And okay, and I want to put this one a little. I want to apply margin top in order this. I don't like the style here. I want to put some margin top in this component here. You can put margin top, this 10 pixels. Here I think it is okay, maybe, or maybe we can put here. Okay, or 40. 38 pixels. Okay. This I need to put in this class in the row. I will put here a clashed budget, and I will go to the CSS and I will say, okay, the class budget is going to have a margin top of 38 pixels. Okay. I don't know. Okay, it's okay. Okay, and last we need to put, I will create here another row. And here in the row, in the row, we need to put the different expenses that the user is adding. I will put another div with a call of 12. And here, let me go back to Bootstrap. And we need to use here in list group, I want to put something like, okay, I think list group flush or flush here. This one. I will copy this one. I will paste. I will put for now two of this one, and I will put here. Okay. The expense that, for example, here we can put food, and also span. I want to see if everything, how this look like. I will copy this one time more. Call. Okay, let me check how is. Okay, here we need to apply two classes more. One class that we need to apply is this one. I want to put a patch, and also I want to have a space between this element and this another element. So the thing we need to add this class only here, and a patch that it is 14 here, this class. Okay, let me check how this look like. But the color, I don't like the color. Secondary. Okay. Okay, the idea is in the next videos we are going to add some more expensive, and when the user clicks here, we are going to do dynamically these values. But one thing more that I want to do is this one is a little small. I will say that the budget, yeah, I will say, okay, the class page is going to have a font size of 1.2 rem. I will save the change, and okay, but it is too big, and this one is a little small. But okay, let me we can do two things here, or we can do this a little bigger, or maybe the pills, maybe it is good with this amount. Yeah, for now we can work in this way. Okay, now we are going to work in this component. We have as a requirement the user needs to put a budget positive. And in this moment, if you look at the component enter budget, we can put here in this input, okay, the type is going to be number. We can avoid that the user cannot type any characters, but the problem is that the user can put 0, or the user can put some negative numbers, and we need to avoid this behavior. What we can do here in the components, we have a batch. I will copy this code. I will put here in above this input, this text, this span. The class is going to be danger. It is red. And here I will put the budget must be greater than 0. I will save the changes, and here we have this text. Okay, I will apply some classes here. I can put here, I want to, I will create another div. I will put these spans inside. I will create a new class in order to center this to the center. And also I will put a margin bottom, maybe 3. Let me check here. Okay, but this text should appear when the user clicks here and press next. And we need to avoid if we need to do this validation. Okay, for that it is very easy. First, I need to capture or get the number that the user is putting here. We have different ways to do that. One way is to use banana inbox. It is super easy. You need to put here this syntax that you are seeing, ng model, and this is going to be equal to some variable that we need to create here in the component. I will put here amount. It is going to be the type number, and here if I don't put the amount, Angular said me, okay, you need to initialize that. You can put here this symbol, or you can put, okay, I will initialize this with 0. And now I need to, okay, the number is going to be this property is going to be equal to the amount of the user is putting here in this field. I will save the both files, and now in the console you can see that we can't bind ng model since it isn't a known property of input. That is because if you want to use this directive, you need to import one module in the app module. Here in this app module, we have in this part of this decorator, in this array, in the imports array, you need to add the forms module, this module. Here I will put something like that. Components. Okay, I will save the change, and here I will save again, and here I don't have anymore the error. If you want to test that, we can do, okay, when the users click in this button, I don't want to execute the router link. I will create, okay, I will say, okay, when the user click, this is Angular. When the user clicks in the button, I will execute one method that I will create now, right now. It is going to name add budget. And if I don't put this method in this file, I will get an error, okay? But I will create this method add budget. And now, if I save the change, I don't have any error. You can put here a console log, console.log, and we can print this amount in order to see if we are getting this amount well. I will save the changes, and now if we open a console and we put something here, you can see that we are getting this value, and in this moment this value that the user is putting in this input in the HTML file, we are storing here in this amount. Okay, I don't want to show this line. For that, I will create another variable that we can call it incorrect amount, maybe incorrect amount. This is going to be, the type is going to be boolean, and I will initialize that as a false. And now, if you don't want to show this line, you can put in Angular 17 we can do this with another syntax. There are two, but in this moment I will use this syntax ngIf, and I will put here this variable that in this moment it's false, and we are not going to show this one. But the thing is, when the user enter an amount that it is less than 0, we need to show this variation, and the user don't he cannot go to the other page. So let's go again here, and here we can, I'm going to delete this one. The user, we can do a simple if and ask, okay, if the amount is greater than 0, here we need to redirect to the next page. But if the amount is less than 0, we need to put this variable as a true. And now the behavior. If I put 0, for example, I have this message. If I don't put anything, if I put something positive, nothing happen, and we are here. Okay, we saw some minutes before how you can move between components using the directive here router link, but this works in this file, in the HTML files. Now we need to do the router, but in the TS file, and in some cases here, for example in this case. Okay, I will create a constructor. The constructors is something when their component is initialized. When we create an instance of the component, the constructor is something that it is created, and we can do inject here the service classes to use through dependency injection. Here we need to inject the router, this class router from Angular router, and here I need to put here this is the syntax. Okay, and now when the amount is higher than 0, I will say, okay, I want to route. I will use the method navigate, and here the syntax of the navigate is parentheses, and here I need to put here, and here I need to put which is the route that I want to go, and this is the route that expenses. Okay, expenses. I will save both files. And now, if I put an amount less than 0, I have this one. But if I put another amount here, we can go to this page. And the other thing that we need to do is, okay, we put some positive amount here in the budget, but this amount we need to pass to here, and we need to put in this component this amount dynamically. There are different ways to do that. In this case, we are going to use a service, but in the service we are not going to use observables. We are going to observables we are going to use in a few seconds, but in order to communicate data between this component and this other component. If you want to use observables, it's okay, but I want to show you different ways that you can share data between components. So what do we need to do now? We need to go to the service that we created before, budget service, and here we need to create two variables. One for the budget and one for the rest. I will put here. The variables should be public. If we don't specify nothing here, it is going to be public. That mean that another components, another service can access to this variable. Okay, I will put public. The name of the variable is going to be budget, budgets, and the type is going to be number, and I will initialize these variables as a 0. And I will create another variable here for the rest. Also, it's going to be the type number, and here we have the two variables. Okay. Now the thing is, when the user clicks here in this button and the amount is higher than 0, we need to set this amount to these variables. Okay. Let's go to the component that we've been working, that it is enter budget here in the TS component. And here we need to inject the service through injection dependency. It's very easy. You can put here, we are going to do this instance private, and here the name is going to be budget service, and the type it's going to be budget service, this file that we create. Okay, and now here we can put, okay, I want to access to the instance of budget service, this one, and then if you press dot, you can access to the variables that are in the service. Okay, the budget, it's going to be equals to the amount that the user is inserting here, that we have this amount here in this variable, this dot amount, and we are going to do exactly the same with the rest. That at the beginning, the rest and the budget, it's going to be the same that the amount, but when the user is try to add another expenses, then the budget and the rest is going to be different. So now in this moment, okay, here I have a problem. I need to save the file. Here it is, I don't know why. I have property budget does not exist in budget service, but this is not true. Bueno, let's execute again the project, because this is a little weird, this error. Sometimes when you have this type of error, you need to cancel the project, execute again the project, and the errors, now it is working, as you can see. Okay, in this moment, as you can see, if the user puts something here, in this moment, we have this value 2000 in this variable, but we need to show this variable in this component, in this part of this file. How you can do that? Okay, we need to go to this component, list of expenses. We have this component here, list expenses, and what we need to do? We need to access to the service. So let's create the constructor. Now we need to inject the service, that it is going to be private. The name it's going to be budget service, and the type obviously budget service, and we need to import this file. I will create locally two variables. Also, if we put a public here in the service, you can access to this instance in the HTML, but I want to create two local variables for this and for this. That it is going to be, you can put public, but if you don't put public, it is public. If you put directly, for example, budget, it's going to be the type number, and I will initialize it as a 0. And also the rest, I will do the same, number equal to 0. Okay, but we need to set these properties with the value that the user put in the other page, that in this moment it is in this service. So we can do, okay, this local variable, this budget variable that we have here, it's going to be equal to the service, budget, budget. And I will do the same with the rest. Dot rest. This budget service to the rest. Maybe the rest is not necessary because at the beginning always it's going to be the same, but it's okay. And now we need to render this value here, budget service. I will put here this. We need to render this valued budget and rest in the HTML. How we can do that? Using string interpolation. Okay, let's go to the HTML. Here we are hard coding this value, but we can put, okay, string interpolation, and here I can put budget, and the same with the rest. Let's reset the page. Let's go to the first page, and if you put, okay, I have a budget of 5,000, and you press next, here you see 5,000. But what happens if the user reloads the page? This is equal to 0 because we are not saving the data in the database, or we are not using local storage, anything. So if the user refreshes the page, we need to check, okay, if this, because we have this value in the service in memory. If the user refreshes the page, everything is lost. So one thing that we can do, if the user refreshes the page, we can check for the value of the service, and if it is equal to 0, we can redirect to this page. Okay, it's super easy. So this logic we are going to do in the component. We can do in any component of here. We can do this logic. I will do this logic in the expenses component. I will go here. I will. We need to have the service budget service, so I need to create the constructor. I will inject the service budget service and the type budget service, and then in the engine init, I need to implement here the one method of the cycle of life of the component, that it is on init. And here I will ask, okay, I will ask, see if this dot budget service is equal to 0. In this case, I need to redirect the user to this component. How you can do that? We need to insert here in the constructor the class router. From Angular router, and here I need to use this instance. The method that I want to use is the method navigate, and I need to put here which is the component, that the component is enter budget. Let me check. So we can test now this one. Okay, the user is going to put an amount of 6,000. I will click next. Here we are rendering this value, but if the user refreshes the page, we go to the other component. Okay, now we need to work in this component of enter your expense. We need to get the value that the user is putting here, also the amount, and also we need to check if the user is missing the expense. I mean, if he doesn't put anything, or the amount is less than 0, we need to show a message. Okay, let's go to the component. We have the component here add expenses, and we need to create two variables, one for here and another variable for here, and also we need to create a method for when the user clicked here. Okay, so I will create the first variable, that it is going to be the name we can, or name expense, or whatever you want. The type, it is string, and I will initialize the variables empty. And also the amount, that it is the type, it is number, and I will initialize that's equal to 0. And the method, when the user clicks here in add expenses, it's going to, I will call it add expenses, expense in singular, better. And I will print in a console log the name and the amount to see everything is working properly. Okay, I will do another console log with the amount, and I will save the file. Okay, now in the HTML file, as you can see, there are plenty of forms or ways to get the value from the HTML files to the TS file. In this case, I will use the same approach that we use it in the another component. I will use banana inbox. That we need to use the directive engine model, and this one is going to be equal to the name. I will copy this one, and the other it is going to be equals to the amount. Okay, I will save the files, and when the user clicks in this in the bottom add expenses, we need to use event binding. So when the user clicks, I will execute the method that we create recently, that the name is add expenses. So let's check if everything is working properly. I will open the DevTools. I will put here food and the amount 200, and here we have the food and the amount. Okay, but what happens if the user doesn't put the expense? They let the input as empty. We need to put a message here. We are going to do exactly the same that we did in enter budget. Here we put this ngIf. I will copy this one. I will go to the this component. I will paste, and here we need to create a variable that in this case it's the variable is going to, we can call it form invalid, maybe. Okay, and the message it's going to be incorrect expense or amount, maybe something like this. I will remove this one for a second to see if how it is look like. Okay, it's okay. And now I need to create a variable in the TS file that it is going to be form invalid. This is the type boolean, and it is going to be false at first. And then I need to use this variable, and I need to put the ngIf. Again, in Angular 17 we can use another syntax, but for now in another videos I will explain the other syntax. Okay, form invalid, that in this moment it's false. Okay, everything is working properly. Now, if the user here doesn't enter anything, we need to, in this method, in this moment that I am doing click here, I need to do a few things. Okay, what do we need to do? First, we need to do the validations. Validations. Then I need to create an object with these two values using the interface that we create here. Create interface. Create the object, better object. Then we need to send. Then we need to send this information to this object. In this case, we are going to use observables. We are going to see how it works. Send data using observables, and then we need to reset the form. Okay, first we need to do the validation. I need to ask if the name is equal to empty, or if this of the amount is less or equal to 0. Here in this case, we need to set the property from valid to true. Otherwise, we need to do these three things. Okay. Let me check if this one is. I will format everything. Let me check how it works, and then okay, incorrect expense or amount. If I put a food, for example, also I have this error. But if I put the amount here, I need to put form valid in the reset form as a false, and in this case this should works. Let me check. Now, okay, food amount. Okay, there is one thing that I don't like, or maybe here when we do click here, we have a historic of this one. If you want to avoid this one, the only thing that you need to do in the HTML component, in the input, for example, here you need to put there is one attribute that it is autocomplete as a false, and with that I will copy this, and also I will do the same here in the amount. Let me here. Well, here there is something that is not working. Autocomplete false. I will save again. Sometimes I don't know why it's not working properly. I don't know what is happening now. Add expensive autocomplete. With this property, I will stop the project to see if now it is working. Autocomplete. I don't want to complete. I don't know what is happening now. Let me check once more. Okay, I don't know what is happening in this moment. Okay, but we can continue it. Okay. And what we need to do, okay, from invalid also we need to reset the form. I will put here this punto name as a string empty, and also the amount it's going to be equals to 0. Okay, we have this, and then we need to create the object. Okay, I will create a const. The name it's going to be expense maybe, and the type it's going to be expense, that it is this interface that we created before. And now we have a contract, and we need to put it is mandatory put the name and the amount. Okay, I will put the name. This name is going to be equal to this name, and also this dot no, sorry, the amount it's going to be this dot amount. Here we have the same name. We can use some characteristics of ECMAScript 6, but for now it's okay. I will do a console log, and I will see if the object is correct. Let me check something. I will put the amount again. Food amount, and here we have the object. Okay, now we need to see how the observables works. We need to pass the data from this component to this another component. So let's go to the service that we just created. Let's go here, and we need to do only three things. Okay, first I will create a new variable that the name is going to be expenses, and usually the observables finish with this symbol. And the type is going to be subject. We have a different type of observables. Subject and behavior subject are the most famous. The difference is that the behavior subject needs a initial value. In this case, in our use case, with the subject, it's enough. And the type of the subject is going to be expense. Okay. Here we have a a problem. It's not okay. Expenses has no initializate, but I don't want to initialize the this is sorry. I need to create an instance here. This is the syntax. And we need to create two methods. One method is going to be when the user clicks here, we need to add data to the observables, and then we need to create another method to the components that are subscribed to the component. Okay. I will create a method that the name is going to be add expenses, singular. That in our case, the component that is going to call this method is this component, and it will send this object, and the type it's going to be, the name is going to be expense and the type expense. Okay. And what we need to do with this object is use this instance that it is private, and we need to use the method next in order to add this value to our observables, and then all of the components that are here into this observer can get this data. So I will put next, and I will send this object. Okay. And now I will go to the component that sends the data, that it in our case is this one at expenses. And here I will, this console log I will delete, and here I will access to the I need to inject or observable or service to the constructor. I will create a private variable. The name is budget service, and the type is budget service. Okay, we have here the instance. I want to access, and the method is add expense, and I need to send this object to here. Then the object is going to be here, and we are using this method next. Okay. The other method that we need to use is one method that is going to be used for this component in order to this component, or you can have plenty of components here in this data. We need to create another. That it is the name. It's going to be get expensive, maybe. And this is very important. The type that this method is going to return, it is going to return an observable, and the type it's going to be expense. And now we have an error because we need to return the observable, and I will put return this dot expenses dot, and the method that we need to use is as observable. Okay, this is the way that this works. You need to create a service, you need to create an instance of the subject or maybe behavior subject, and then you need to create two methods, one method to add the data and another method to see the data, or to subscribe to the data. Okay. We need to do one step more, and we need to call this method in this component in order to iterate to have this data. Let's see what we need to do. I will go to list expenses. I will go to here, and here in the constructor I will put this budget service dot. The method that we need to use is this one, the of gets expense, and this method return an observable. So we need to subscribe to the observable, and then we need to execute a function. In our case, we are going to execute an arrow function that it's going to receive a parameter. In this case, we can call expense. I will put an arrow function, and here you can, for example, do a console log and see if the data from if we get the data here from here. Let's see what happened. I will open a console and I will put college 200 at expense, and as you can see here, we are in lead expenses here, and we are printing information. Here we need to do a little thing here. Always when you have when you are creating an observable, you need to unsubscribe to observable. What we need to do? Okay, this component needs to implement another method. That this is the method on destroy. This is a method. It's one method of the cycle of life of the component, and when the component is destroyed, we need to unsubscribe. We need to create a variable that it is going to be the type subscription. This one, and this variable is going to be equal to this. And then when the component is destroyed, we need to unsubscribe. This is the way that observables works. Let me check. Okay, and here we have the data. Okay, the last thing that we need to do related to this is here we have hard-coded this information. We need to do dynamically. So I will create a new variable, a list. We can call list expenses. This is going to be the type expenses, an array, sorry. And I will initialize the array empty. Then here, maybe, well, I will use a method of JavaScript push. You can use another ways to add the data to the list. I will add this expense, and now I need to iterate here dynamically. Okay, I will go back to the HTML file, and here I need to iterate this one. This one I'm going to delete. I will use another directive, ng4 let expenses. This is the syntaxes. You need to create a variable, local variable, let expense, and then I need to say which is the array or the thing that I want to iterate. This one, and then here I want to print through string interpolation the expense that the name, and then in the here I need to put the amount. Let me check if everything is working properly. I will put here 2000. I will put here food. Another thing interesting here that we saw, we need to use, if you don't want to have this historic, you need to put add expensive. We put autocomplete, but here is off, not false. Off. Let me check. I will put here again to 2000, and here we don't have the historic. If you don't, maybe you want to have, or maybe not. And then I need to put here food 200 add expensive, and nothing is here. I will put another, for example, college 300. Okay, but here we are missing the rest. Let me go and do the rest here. We need to, okay, here is not reset, I don't know, it's rest. Okay, let me change something, this one, rest, and here rest. Okay, okay, I will put that the local variable rest is going to be equal to this dot rest minus this dot this object, the amount of this object that the user put. Let me check if this is working well. 2000 food 200, and you need to see here, okay, it's okay. Health 500, okay, and it is working well. We are almost done. We need to do only two requirements more. One requirement is, for example, acá, here, if I put the budget, is that you cannot put here another expenses higher than the rest. For example, if you put here 2000, this cannot be negative. We need to do this validation. And the other validation is that it is not a validation, it is an improvement. It's the color of this is going to change depending of how much money you have left. Okay, let's start with with this validation. Let's go to the component add expenses, and here instead of to be hardcode this string, I will create a new variable that we can call text invalid form. It is going to be the type string, and here I will put as a default this value, and here with the string interpolation I will put this value, and everything is working. Okay, what we need to validate here, we need to read the amount that the user is introducing here and the rest. Okay, in the service here in the budget we have the rest that it is I need to put correctly rest. I will save this one, and I think I need to, in a few places I need to because this was misspelling here, component here rest, and now rest here rest. Okay, now it is fixed. Okay, what we need to do is here when the user introduce a new value in the we have different way to resolve this, but I think the best way is here in the budget we have this variable rest, and when the user added a new amount here I will update the rest. You can do, okay, the rest is going to be the rest minus expense dot the amount, okay, and here in the component add expense, when the user clicks in the button next, here in the validations we need to do an if before this if, and check, okay, if we need to access to the service because there we have the rest, and we need to ask if the rest is higher. No, we can ask in this way, if the amount is higher than the rest. Here I will put another text. We can put here in the text, instead of this text we can put I don't know, the amount is higher than the rest, okay, and also we need to put here the invalid form. It is going to be false or true, I mean, and then it is very important here I put an if, but if this is true I need to finish the thread, because if I don't put return here the code is going to enter here and then it's going to enter here, and I don't want this behavior. So I save the file, then here we have the rest. You can put food 200, and then if I put, for example, here car, and I put this value, we should have the validation. And here we have the validation. And also now if I put 700, here is working properly. Okay. The last requirement that we have, it is I want to change this background, the color, depending if how much money you have left. Okay, let's go to this component. I will close this, and I will go to least expensive, and here we have the rest. Here we have the rest. Now we are applying this class, but I want to do this class dynamically. So I will I will use this directive ng class, and here I will create a method. It's not good to create method here for performance reason. You need to, there are another best ways, but it's okay in this app. Apply color rest. I will delete this, and I will create this method here. Apply color rest. This is going to return an string, and if I return this string that I put recently, sorry, I will put this string. Everything should be the same. Return. I will save this. I will delete. I will save both files, and everything is working in the same way. Okay, what do we need to do here? I will ask first if we have the budget, if this dot budget is the budget. I want to divide the budget in 4. If the result of this is higher than the rest, in this case, that means that we have only a little money. For that, I will put here a return with the class danger. Otherwise, I will put, for example, another. Here we can put secondary. Let's test this. I will put 1000, and when the rest is 250 or less, this color should be changed. For example, I put food 200, everything is okay. I will put car, I will put now 500, is okay. And now if I put food, another expensive, and I will put here, for example, 100, the color change. But I want to put another color between 200 to, I want to improve this a little more. Here I will put an if, and I will ask, okay, if the budget is, here I will put, if the budget in this case it is between 250 and 500, the color is going to be another. In this case, for example, I will put an else. The secondary, it's going to be the last, and this is going to be another class warning. Okay, we have 3 colors. Here, if I put 1000, the color, the background is gray. If I put food and I put, for example, 400, the color should be gray. We are here in this, we are returning this. And then if I put, for example, food 200, the rest is going to be 400, and the color is going to be the warning. Let me check. We have warning, and when the rest is less than 250, the color is going to be to be read. I will put another 200, and here we have the app. Okay, we finished the app. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channels, like the video, and ring the bell to stay in the loop when I release new videos. See you another time.